Now the floor is given to Colonel Dmytro Hutsulyak, Ministry of Defense of Ukraine spokesperson on ATO-related issues. Good afternoon, everyone. During the last 24 hours, the situation at the line of confrontation didn't change significantly. The number of shellings of the positions of our forces by Russian occupation forces didn't change. At the same time, compared with the day before, the enemy was the most active now in the Donetsk sector. Now the information in more detail. In the Lugansk sector, the enemy 4 times opened fire at our positions. In the region of Troitsk and Lazove, the enemy used mortars that are prohibited by the Minsk agreements of 120 mm of caliber. The enemy launched in the direction of our forces 7 mines of this caliber. Also, the enemy used the grenade launchers and small arms against our positions near Mayorsk and Travneva. In the Donetsk sector, during the last 24 hours, the enemy became more active and 10 times opened fire at the positions of the armed forces of Ukraine, including the use of weapons that are prohibited by the Minsk agreements. And the situation was the hottest near Butivka mine. The overall shelling lasted 3 hours, and the enemy launched 44 mines of prohibited caliber, 120 millimeters, 47 mines of 82 millimeter of caliber, and for 1.5 hours, the enemy delivered fire with the use of grenade launchers and small arms of different caliber. Also, the enemy used mortars of 120 millimeter of caliber against our forces near Novotroitsk and Vodyane, and 1 more shelling with the use of mortars of 82 millimeter of caliber. This shelling was recorded near Pisky, and the enemy used the small arms of different caliber grenade launchers and IFV weaponry near Krasnogorivka, Kamenka, Novotroitsk. All 14 enemy shellings of our positions were precision ones, and the enemy launched in the direction of our forces 134 mines using mortars of 120 and 82 millimeter of caliber. In order to calm down the enemy, servicemen of the armed forces of Ukraine were forced to return fire 10 times with the use of weapons that are not prohibited by the Minsk agreements. In the result of enemy shelling, 4 servicemen were wounded. All of them were promptly delivered to military hospitals. State of their health is assessed as satisfactory. Moreover, according to information provided by Press Center of ADO headquarters, representatives of military service of law and order in the armed forces of Ukraine and National Police of Ukraine now try to find the reasons and the details of the extraordinary event concerning death of servicemen of detached Brigade of Marines. According to preliminary information, the bodies of Marines were revealed in the house in which they temporarily lived. Criminal proceedings have been started in the framework of this investigation. According to information provided by the main intelligence department of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, Russian Occupation Command reinforced control regime over residents of occupied territories of Donbass. They broadened the list of categories of citizens who are not allowed to travel to the territory that is controlled by the government of Ukraine. From the start of February this year, travel ban is spread on persons who are involved in household works and those who are service personnel in bodies of local power and local law enforcement bodies of occupation administration. With this aim, FSB officers make lists of aforementioned categories of people in order to detain them in order if they try to cross the line of contact.
Ukrainian party of the Joint Center for Control and Coordination on Ceasefire and Stabilization of the Contact Line report that on February 14, 2018, by initiative of Marianka District Military Civil Administration and Ukrainian Party in JSCC, the employees of Donetsk Oblenergo conducted repairs and restoration works on electrical equipment of one of the transformer substations, which was damaged on February 4th during shelling by the militants of Russian occupational forces. the time 160 consumers remain disconnected from electric supply, taking into account the urgent need to resume electricity supply to Mariinka. The repair of the damaged equipment was conducted despite there were no security guarantees on the part of occupants. Ukrainian party of the Joint Center for Control and Coordination extends on the issue of restoration of the ruined infrastructure at Donbass. This issue of improving living standards for citizens and improving humanitarian situation in the region is key priority for the government of Ukraine. Yesterday, the ceremony of transfer of 5,400 night vision devices to Ukrainian army for the total amount of $5,800,000 were conducted. This equipment was delivered to Ukrainian party free of charge under the program of promoting security in Ukraine. The certificate for transfer of the said equipment was handed out by the extraordinary and plenipotentiary ambassador of USA to Ukraine, Maria Ivanovich. According to the information of the head of General Staff and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, General of Ukraine Viktor Michenko, this equipment was preliminarily distributed already, and this next in turn assistance from the USA will become another step to improve the capabilities of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Mr. Dmytro, we want to know about the killings of Marais. There is an information from press office of Larissa Sahan. There are 2 suspects that were detained. Can you prove this information? If this information was published by the military prosecutor's office, you can believe it to be formal approval, formal information. I do not know about the deaths of 4 Marines. I can only tell what I already said. It was information that these soldiers, these Marines, they died because they abused alcohol beverages. I don't know, excuse me. I have only the information which I told you about.